What's going on, everybody? This is Adam Potash. You are listening to the Approach podcast. How are you doing, Victoria?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was thinking before we got on this podcast today, all these podcasts that I see have all these kind of like trinkets and things in the background. And I feel like maybe I need to put some stuff. Like I got my fat right here. I'm like, maybe I need to put I don't know. What should I need to make like a better background for myself with all the trinkets. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you mean. Maybe we should have a green screen or something that we can both have the same green screen with trinkets in the back, and it will
Like
be
some fun stuff, some like little
yeah.
duckies and things. Yeah. We need something. But how's your day going?
Yeah, my day is good actually, really
Yeah.
good. We've some updates on the app which are really exciting. We're working on some more exciting updates. And I've just had a really good half hour getting some stuff on paper, so
Oh,
that's
I
been really
I
good. Yeah,
like that. Getting stuff done. Yeah, so
yeah.
today we just updated or upgraded our app, I guess you say. So that's always fun and exciting. It's been a while since we had such a big update. And so that's really cool for any members and new members coming in. Aesthetically, it looks really nice and a little easier to use and function and stuff like that. So that's fun. Yeah, we have a lot going on, huh?
We have a lot going on. And it's exciting because I know there were a lot of people who, when we first launched the app, they downloaded it and they wanted to have a play around with it. And now is a really good time to re-download it. If you're someone who downloaded it at the beginning when we first started, definitely re-download or open the app again and just have a play around and see how far it's come, because I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's like, obviously the app that we had was great and awesome, but it's like kind of like that 2.0 version as you
Yeah.
go through things, you want to tweak things here and there. And so that's kind of what this is. And so yeah, it's really good. We're obviously very excited about it. We've been working on it for quite a while now. So
Yeah. Exciting.
but so yeah, so topic. Obviously we're always off the cuff here. So we're talking offline before we started this podcast. And you know, something that's been on my mind now is I don't know if things come on your feed, but obviously on my feed, quite a bit of like so many trainers, health professionals, doctors, whatever, and just so much misinformation. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying this is misinformation because it goes against what I think. It's misinformation just because it's misinformation, and like we
Yeah.
shouldn't be steering these people in the wrong direction. Like I don't care what your program is. Honestly, I really don't. If you want to help people, I'm all about it. Help somebody.
Yeah.
But the information that is just wildly out there is just mind-boggling to me. And there's a few things that kind of like are really sticking out. So um, the other day I really don't follow anybody, but this doctor came on my feed who is a plastic surgeon, okay,
Okay.
who is now, if you go on his feed, I'm not going to name any names, I'm not that guy, who you go on his feed, and maybe you guys know this. He wears like a little bandana thingy. He's always in his scrubs, like he's like always in it, like of course, right? Like wear some normal clothes, buddy. No one cares. And so he's a plastic surgeon who now his entire feed is devoted towards Ozempic. Okay.
Right.
And so I asked him one day, I never really not, an ass on social media. I try not to be. But I said, hey, what is a plastic surgeon doing promoting Ozempic? And
Yeah.
his reply blew my mind. His reply was like, because people aren't well enough to get the gastric bypass surgeries that he's giving. So
Right.
he is now promoting Ozempic so then people can get quote unquote well enough to then get the surgery by him. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, how effed up is this world that this is
Mhm.
like the cycle that we're going through? I mean,
Yeah.
what's your like? This is crazy, right? Am I out of my mind?
I'm surprised that he was so honest about that though on social, to just say because like that blows my mind. Like
Yeah,
I we're gonna say something like, oh, he said that he needs people to lose the fat so that he can there's loads of excess skin that he can operate on and stuff like, but that
sure, something,
yeah,
something.
it doesn't solve the problem of the mental side of eating and the mindset side, and actually getting a handle on the bad habits that you've created so that you can make a long-term lifestyle change. And I just
Zero. I mean, how many
like,
members do we have that have had the surgery, then gain the weight back and come see us,
yeah,
right?
yeah, so many, so many. And I find that really sad because I agree that anybody can have their programs and people will have different ways of operating and different people resonate with different people. Some people like a tougher attitude of a program that's going to be really strict on them. Some people
Yeah.
prefer something that's much more nurturing, and I get that. So like you said at the beginning, have your programs, help people, do all of that. But if you're essentially not working from the point of changing people's mindset about food and the way they're eating, you are never going to create a long-term lifestyle change.
It's
And that's
insane
kind
to
of the
me.
bottom line. Yeah.
And like at what, like, and I believe I replied. I don't remember. I think I replied to him and said, "What about health and nutrition? Like
Yeah.
do a post about that, buddy. Like
Yeah.
do something about how to eat better, how to like cook a good healthy, like something. Like
Yeah.
nothing in this guy's vocabulary was about anything healthy. And this guy's a doctor, quote unquote
Yeah.
surgeon. Like how are we? I get so heated about this stuff because how are
Yeah.
we that far gone? I believe, this is my personal opinion, it should be a law that you need to discuss at least X amount of your practice to be health and nutrition. And I'm talking 50, 60, 70%. Like
Yeah.
if you want to prescribe drugs, all good. Okay, that's your thing. You make money off prescribing drugs, but this needs to be 60% of your practice, health and
Yeah.
nutrition, right?
Yeah.
Um,
100%. 100%.
why are we why are we not doing this? Like
I know.
because the
I
drug
know.
people take over the world, because big pharma takes over the world.
Yeah. It's that old quote of, healthy people don't pay the bills for people that want to prescribe drugs. Like they just don't. So
Like yeah, my quote for the last couple of weeks now has been like, "What's a doctor's worst patient?"
yeah,
And
a
the
healthy
answer is
person.
a healthy patient, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
eh, yeah.
But it's so sad. It really is so sad because we know that there are people all over social media out there looking for answers, desperately looking for answers. And they are feeling vulnerable and they have tried
Right, and they're
everything.
sponges, right?
And
Yeah.
yeah, and they are absolutely at the end of their patience with
Hmm.
trying to find something that works. And we know that with all the misinformation out there, if these people take in the wrong thing, it's just damaging them more and more and more. And it's really sad to me. It's really sad the state that some of our members turn up in at the program. Like
I
it's
know.
really sad.
So what is like, again, I don't want to get off track because I want to talk about a couple other things, but what is the solution? How can we get this like aha moment out there? How can we get this, like, obviously when people come to us, like everybody loves it, right? Everybody's like, and we talk about this all the time, like our members' only regret is not doing this sooner. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying join our program or the approach or whatever. I'm just saying like there's better solutions out there. So how do we get people to find the better, longer lasting solutions?
I think it all I think people have to ask the right questions before they go into a program. Um, and I think a lot of that comes down to making sure that you're not being promised a quick fix. I think there's certain red flags you can look for. I think if you're being
Yeah.
promised
Yeah.
a quick fix or something that you feel is not going to be sustainable to you long term, i.e., only drinking juice or making sure like
Can
if
we
it's not
make,
sustainable,
I don't
you
want to
must
cut you off, but can we make like a red flag checklist? We need to do
like
this.
that.
A
Yeah,
red flag checklist of like, if
yeah,
your doctor says this,
yeah,
you know, you might want to find other help.
100%. We can absolutely do that.
I would
Yeah,
like to see that, I think. Let's work on that. I know because we have nothing else going on, right?
yeah, I know.
Uh,
Right.
Victoria hates me because like I don't want to say like I'm the idea man, but I just wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and like she's already got like 100 texts of things like I want to accomplish. And she thought she would have like 4 hours before I get
Yeah,
awake.
I know.
Because we're a 4 hour, 5 hour time difference and it never happens for her. Um,
Yeah, we'll literally meet on like a Tuesday, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I've got loads to get on with, but it's all under control." And then you're like, "Okay, cool. Here's 20 other things I've discovered."
These are the things I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Uh, Victoria's
They're
certainly
really
like the
good.
soundboard. She's like, all right, take a back step. Here's what we're working on right now. But this is a good one. I think this is a good one. A red
I
flag
like it.
checklist. I
Yeah,
like
I
it.
like it a lot.
Um,
What were the
also,
other areas that you said there
so
were a couple of other
yeah,
things?
so I have this spray bottle here, and I think this is again, I've done TikToks on this before. I did a TikTok that I'm going to release today about Gatorade and a TikTok about spray bottles. So we'll talk about these two things real quick here. So this one coach trainer, she was a trainer, was talking about don't do butter, do the spray. She gives all this like don't this, not that kind of thing. And it's just again not proper information. Like first of all, there's nothing really wrong with butter unless you have some sort of allergy towards butter. Um, that's fine, but the spray is not better for you. The spray, people are going with this 0 calorie thing and not realizing that this spray bottle has 1,532 servings. So
Right.
1,500 servings in it. And so the serving size, and I've done TikToks on this before, is a quarter of a second spray. So
Wow.
I don't know about you, but if I'm using this stuff, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know I
Yeah.
gotta coat that pan. But yeah, so and then what people
Crazy.
also don't realize is that there's about 130 140 calories per teaspoon of a lot of these oils: coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil. And so they're just kind of misinformed about the label that doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I get
but here you are, coaches that don't know this, and coaches are
yeah,
coaching people, and so that's where I'm kind of thrown off. Like, hey, like I don't like cool coach and awesome and help people, but at least give them the right tools and information, right? Like that's that's where I don't like it.
yeah. And I think again, it's like I really like a lot of the this and that, this over that things that I
Mhm.
see. Like there's a lot of really positive changes that people can make that are really easy. But I there are some that I just think you're confusing people and you're moving people away from food.
Yeah.
Like is like spray like there's nothing wrong with cooking with a small amount of oil. Like
Right. Right.
we would never cook with anything else. Like
Sure.
we have our select few that we use. We don't use a lot of it, but I can't imagine like it's not there's so
Well, the
many
fact that
changes
people think
to
that this
make.
is better because it's in a spray
Yeah,
form and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that kind of
And because
thing
it
too.
says and it's because it says 0 calories. Like
Zero
that's why
calories.
people
Zero.
like if people see 0 calories, they're like, okay, cool,
Same thing with
done. That
Diet
like
Coke, right? We can talk
yeah,
all day about Diet Coke, and
yeah.
obviously
It,
that's
it
that's not working for people.
it just ticks that box of like, okay, cool, this isn't adding to my calorie intake,
Yeah.
but it's doing other things, and you're meant to consume calories every day. So just
Yeah. Yeah.
make your choices on, the types of foods that you're consuming. But I just don't like this demonizing of all carbs, demonizing of all fats,
Yeah.
demonizing of all oils. And I just think, we pride a lot of the program on teaching people how to cook, teaching people how to balance meals, teaching
Hmm.
people how to
Carbs are
find
good.
recipes. Carbs are good, fats are
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah.
let's incorporate them. Let's sure have them in the right quantities and the balance at the right time and all of that. But I just don't like the demonizing of food groups that are completely fine to eat. I think it's really
Yeah.
harmful to people.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the last one that I'm doing a TikTok about today is Gatorade. And the reason I came about this was because I'm actually coaching a kind of a NHL hockey player perspective, a friend of mine's son, and he was taking these liquid IVs. You have liquid IVs over there, like
I'm
electrolyte
not sure.
packets that
Oh,
you
yeah, yeah,
put. Um, so they're loaded with sugar. Most of them are loaded with sugar or artificial sugars, one or the other. And so he was using these and then, it's dropping them off, right? So he's getting a lot of energy and then dropping them off. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, well, it's because, these things have tons of sugar in them. And so, like, it's good to get the electrolyte. And so, like, I'm doing this comparison right now with, if you look at Gatorade, Gatorade is water, sugar, right? Almost half
yeah.
of it is sugar, and then a tiny bit of electrolyte. And then we can do the same thing with salt, right? So, salt is the electrolyte piece to all of these quote unquote electrolytes. And so if we just put a
Yeah,
pinch of salt in our water, it would act as the same thing that we need to, energize our body and fuel our
Yeah.
body. So I guess just a lot of misinformation again when it comes to all these things, and it's just getting to me these days.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you.
So
Has the person that you're training seen a difference? Have they made that change now away from those to just putting salt
So
into
we
the water?
just started, and that's why I just did
Okay.
this TikTok. So I haven't talked to him much since then. But that would be like again my first thing. Or if he's drinking Gatorade again with lots of sugar. I mean, these kids that are professional prospects are working out like crazy,
Yeah.
right? And they can't really have what you want to do for them, and any athlete really is you can't have these kind of peaks and valleys. You can't
Yeah.
take a shot of sugar and then drop, and then now an hour later you need to go back out on the ice or go back out on the field. Like it doesn't, you're going to be dead. It just doesn't work that way. So you really have to kind of work on this level playing field of not raising it with sugar and artificial kind of energy, so to speak.
Ah,
So
so interesting.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, those are the few things that kind of like were bugging me, and they come on my feed so often. I'm just thinking like I'm somewhat educated on this stuff, and
Yeah.
there's 90% of the planet that's not. And not, I'm not, trust me, I'm not saying that I'm 90% more educated than anybody. That I'm not saying that. I know someone's gonna,
Yeah.
write me a nice email. No, I'm saying on these types of decisions, these types of products. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
just looked into it a lot more than the average bear, I guess. And
Yeah.
I think we need to inform people a lot better when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think, I think we can do a red flags list of, things, maybe reasons why not to join a program. And then I think we can also do a red flags list of how to actually look at products that you're buying and actually see what the ingredients are. I think that would
My
be
God, I
fun.
love it. Victoria's making more work for herself.
I know.
No, these are great. I think these are both great things. Maybe we'll add them to like some of the meal plans or something like that. Or
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be good.
this is great. Well, awesome as always, Victoria. We have lots of things going on with the app and the program. So many members. Obviously, people are wanting to get healthy for themselves, but obviously, I think it's that time of year that people are
Yeah.
noticing that their New Year's resolutions have weared off. And they really want to get healthy for real these days, and summer's coming up and all that good stuff. So if you want more information about the approach, just go to jointheapproach.com. That's www.jointheapproach.com, or just download the app. You can now try
Yeah.
it for free. That's one of our new features.
Yeah.
Try our app for free. You can test it out. Not all the features are
Yeah.
available for the free version, but at least you get to try it out and play around with it. So go ahead and do that.
So exciting. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
All right, guys. Take care.